Alright, we're back, except we're going to be playing some Devil May Cry 2. We're going to be playing the Lucia version, or at least we'll be checking it out. If it's different enough from Dante's missions, then we'll go ahead and do the rest of it. If not, we might just be moving on to Devil May Cry 3. Otherwise, we'll be going ahead and checking out Lucia's version of Devil May Cry 2. Apparently her side is shorter than Dante's, which I guess you would expect, right? Because the last part of his missions are him exclusively, so it makes sense. But yeah, we're going to be playing Lucia's version. Whether or not it's going to be easier or more difficult than Dante's, not entirely sure. I doubt that. I imagine they're about like the same difficulty. Maybe I should have done a load, although it's in Lucia's, so I shouldn't have any save data on it, so. I also moved my camera over here for this one because I believe the health and whatnot was spawning on the left side of the screen. Not that it should have mattered too much, but some people might prefer it not covering it. People who have watched the Dante part of Devil May Cry will probably already know a majority of what happens. So, like, I don't expect everything to be entirely different, right? Because the scenarios are still somewhat involved within each other. Although Lucia's does seem to divert a bit more. We'll probably see that in the later editions of her missions, but for now, this is pretty standard from what we've seen before in the original Dante mission. We had already seen this. So, in that regard, nothing's probably going to change in that one.
Has been inherited by his son, the demon slayer, Dante.
Go ahead and bring up the game volume a little bit. It might have been a little low last time, and I tried to fix that in the editing before they actually went up for you guys. So hopefully that ends up going okay. If not, I can always fix it up a little bit in editing afterwards. Ideally, you know, get it right the first time, in which case I'll have to spend the extra time so that way we can get videos out faster, but it's hard to tell when it's really only me giving feedback on it so far. So it is what it is.
Till next time.
Not really anything for us to comment on this part. If you've seen our first playthrough as Dante, then you would have seen all this already. However, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to do the Lucia side. It'll be interesting to see. Because, much like Trish, apparently Lucia was also created, in which case she should have like a Devil Trigger-esque ability to her. Let's see here. Mission 1. Towards the south, the Protector will find the time. Alright then. I gotta remember all the controls for this game, so that's gonna be fun. Definitely not gonna get killed for it either. Really, Lucia? Nothing to say? Okay, so instead of guns, you throw daggers. Makes sense. Red orb. I guess it makes sense they would give us more tutorial-esque area, considering it's the first mission. Do love how we still get double jump in Devil May Cry 2 immediately, and we don't actually have to buy it. That's probably like one of the worst things in Devil May Cry 1. Just losing out on so much utility. Sorry, nobody's ever seen that. But yeah. So that was not the greatest of. It wasn't the greatest things, but it did. They did improve on that at least. Really, nothing else here. Okay. I feel like my autos right now, like my basic attacks, are not very. They don't have a lot of reach to them, which I guess makes sense. We're using pretty short swords, right? As compared to Dante's palm sword. I don't think we're missing anything else up here. I mean, there's one red orb over there, but I don't think we're missing any, like, extra, like, HP or nothing like that up here. It's probably too early to be looking for that stuff. But you never know. It looks like Lucia can actually hang off of walls a little bit. More like wall jumping slash ninja-esque style. Alright. And then roll still O, that's good. Ah! What am I missing here? The door is sealed. 45 required to break the seal of this door. Okay. How many did we have? I don't even remember what number we had. Well, I guess we gotta look around a bit more then. I guess I didn't find everything we need to see over here. Okay. Well, usually we generally farm them up through enemies, yet so far it doesn't appear that we've actually seen an enemy just yet. She does backflips, interesting. Well, they really got to scrounge in for change on this first one, huh? These cursed camera angles, I had seen it for a second and I've immediately lost it. Was what, somewhere along the lines over here? $42, alright, so if we just keep breaking those up top. This camera is so cursed, man. I think it's supposed to be in this corner over here. It is. Alright, perfect. So we took a little bit of damage from the door there. That's fine. It's early in, you know, I'm not too worried about damage. Here, take your blood money already. Alright, cursed camera angle. Some things never change. Okay, well, I guess we're here now. Was that the gate behind us that we were? No, that was the door. Okay, so we want to go towards the gate. Can't jump over that, but I can go through this. Naturally, it would be a trap. Interesting. She even gets a different targeter color than Dante did. I think her daggers are just straight up slower than Dante's guns. I could be wrong on that, though. They might actually be the same, but they feel slower, at least. Alright, we got a little bit of a launch to our attack combo. Don't mind that at all. It does allow us to control enemies a bit more, which is nice. It looks like it might actually be easier for us to build up Devil Trigger as well, assuming that's what we're doing there. Gold Orb is extra revives, is that right? Yeah, okay. So we can jump over here, which will get us past the gate that was originally locked right there. And we got an extra life out of it. So not a bad start. The fact that they're already giving us access to this is interesting. Although it doesn't look like it's actually going to allow me to interact with it just yet. Okay, there we go. The cut Slazier. The arsenal, throwing daggers, and then we've got general items that we've already had before. We're not gonna have enough for anything. We're flat broke, but good to see that her stuff is the same as Dante's in terms of what it looks like. Anything on top of here? Can we even get on top of here? Yeah, it just didn't want to let me jump up originally. Is this Devil Trigger? It is. Alright. Hers looks more like an angel trigger than anything, like in comparison to Dante's. I mean, that at least makes more sense, considering Dante's is, like, full-on demon. Although, if a demon created her, why would it look more like an angel trigger? Maybe that's just me. Lucia definitely got some moves in hers, which is nice. The knock-up, the knockdown, and like just the overall stagger is pretty good. This might be covering the amount of funds that we're getting, or the red orbs that I'm getting. But I think people would rather see, like, my health and Devil Trigger and whatnot. The game generally uses a good amount of the space within the screen itself, so, like, there's not a fantastic place where just, like, I can get away with not covering something. So I'm trying to cover the least amount possible so that way you guys can see the most. For those that actually care how much HP I have and whatnot. I mean, I always got at least one more than I need if I'm still living, right? Is that how that works? Right, rolling is still faster than regularly moving around in this game. Doesn't really make sense, but just Devil May Cry. I'd love to fight these guys a different way, but they're just gonna have to hold on to these daggers for me for the time being until I can get a better way of dealing with them. Wish there was like an item attractor or something, so like when you kill enemies, it just auto collects it for you, rather than having to walk back over onto the corpse to go grab it. Like, is this really necessary? I doubt this is gonna just open for me, right? Yeah, nah, would have been too easy. Guess we'll go around the other way then. You guys are just gonna keep respawning, aren't you? They do tend to do that in this game, in which case we'll probably just take care of a few of them and get moving. If it didn't control my camera as much as I did, I would be running away from them more often, but if it's gonna keep influencing my camera so greatly, then ideally, if I can get rid of them quick enough and move on, that'd be great. Alright, we should be over the gate now. Can I have control over my camera, please? So we can go into the water there, which is probably what we're gonna end up doing, since that seems to be what it's looking like it wants us to do here. Anything else over here that we're looking for? We did pick up one HP fragment within the area, so there may be more. Not entirely, you know, certain, of course, because we haven't played Lucia's side of this game before. But where there's one, there could be more. Oh, that dude's the worst. I gotta kill this one. Naturally, it's gonna make me target the one that I didn't want to target. Oh, you threw the second one. I feel like Dante's Devil Trigger was just, like, stronger in general, but it's probably a little too early to be saying that. I don't know. And you're like, well, you played with, you know, our fully, more or less upgraded Devil Trigger for a while towards the end, so it's probably, you know, easier to immediately discount this one more. Just because we had that idea of how strong our Devil Trigger was in the last one. But, I don't know. Even still, it's still. I don't know. We can always change that, of course. May as well get some of the farming out of the way. The game does like you to farm a bit. In which case, if we could get some of that out of the way earlier, I'll take it. Turn down my own volume a little bit so that way it doesn't blow my ears out. It should be fine on your guys' end. It's just I have to control the volume from my end, from your guys' end, from the recording software's end. It's just, I'm looking at so many different bars while we do this. Okay, that's a savage door. Ow. Probably should have just went into that immediately, but here we are. Now, the nice thing about the Devil Triggers is that we do get a little bit of HP regen over time while we're in it. It's not necessarily massive or nothing, but it is helpful. I think he did actually just immediately poison me right there, which is pretty gross. It doesn't seem like I build up style points as much as I did with Dante. It feels like with Dante I was able to get up to, not necessarily like S-rank stylish more quickly, but it seemed like it was a little more generous maybe so far. Although I think Lucia might actually attack slightly faster, which could be the case. This area is looking familiar. I'm sure we went through it as Dante, and we're actually just going a different path within the area with Lucia. But interesting to see that there is a little bit of overlap between the two areas that they patrol. Really wish I could just auto-target these things. There we go. This looks like it should be something. Secret room level 1. Alright, you demon birds, get out of here. It looks like the demon birds throw the same projectiles that we're using here, or throwing daggers. But they just put red on the projectile, and they're like, good enough. I would love to be killing these guys a different way, but considering they're literally sitting up in the air, we only have one aerial attack at the moment, as far as I'm aware. It's kind of what we got going for us. Alright, well that was, just about as free as we get. Another blue orb fragment, so we'll eventually get some more max HP out of that. Green orbs for some HP. For some money. White is for getting our devil triggers back. Which we do get a full devil trigger at the end of clearing a secret room, which is nice. I knew this door looked pretty sus, but I haven't looked up anything for Lucia's section outside of, like, could it be, different enough from Dante's in order to warrant us doing a playthrough of it, since we had already cleared Dante's section. As to, like, looking farther into the game for, like, anything particular, go ahead and just throw a save down here. I mean, it's essentially a tutorial level, right? Easy enough. Go ahead and do, I don't know, maybe we'll do like 1 hour versions like we did with the Dante ones. Of course, that's minus any potential editing time we need as well and whatnot. The aerial heart will give the protector the chance to reach the skies. Now, we did get aerial heart with Dante, so we have a general idea of what that's going to do for us, giving us the ability to fly at least a little bit. We're so broke, we really don't have much for anything. Now, Lucia also uses swords, however, we only have access to this one so far. But as Dante, we were able to get multiple. Step on this plate and your magic power will be recovered. I guess it stole my, all of my devil trigger from the last stage. Interesting. These guys are going to come to life 100% once I get that finished, so we may as well go ahead and pick up everything before we end up triggering it. If we remember to use that spot right there, we should be able to spam more or less infinite devil trigger, which should absolutely annihilate these blood goats here. There we go. Yeah, you guys were looking a little too lifelike there. Awesome. Oh, you decided to come on the ground. Oh, thank you. Make my life so much easier. It absolutely just juggled. I mean, if you're gonna just stay up in the air, you don't mind if I just, like, help you a little bit, do you? And that should be aerial heart, which makes sense why we have that right there, so we can actually fly out of the area. Because I imagine that's what we actually have to do here, because I'm really not seeing another way out of it. Way to just let that happen. I do like the look of Lucia's devil trigger. Magic stone with the heart of a flying demon bird. Well, haven't we just killed ourselves a few? We probably could just fly our way out of here instead of dealing with these guys, but they're gonna show up. You know, we may as well give them a little bit of a warm welcome. Come on. Well, that door tried to troll me, but thankfully we kind of just ran up the wall to avoid it. I'm not entirely sure, as with like every enemy spawn in this game, I'm never sure if they're like infinite spawns or if they're just, or if they eventually run out. It's hard to tell. Thankfully on this one it looks like it's just gonna be a few enemies, so let's go ahead and fly our way out of here, shall we? Right, I have to keep pressing X in order to do this. We're gonna miss a few orbs, that's... I would love to preserve my demon, or my devil trigger, if at all possible. Mostly because it makes boss fights and whatnot easier, and there are plenty of those in these games. So, running into a boss fight, ideally with our full devil trigger, would make life a lot easier. We'll just keep that dude like off the side of the map and he died instantly. Now that was a blue fragment right there, which means that's some extra HP for us. We can use these guys to farm up our devil trigger a bit, which is nice. If it would have let me target who I wanted to there, I wouldn't have even taken damage. But really just use the devil trigger here to get some HP back. Not that it's a huge necessity. Especially when it looked like the regular enemy ended up dropping us some HP there. But if I could stay at full health, I'd prefer to do so. Now the HP was where exactly? I might actually have to use my devil trigger, which is probably why these guys are spawning the way that they are. Darts, sword swords with their narrow shape, multiple swords can be thrown at once. Interesting. So we already have a weapon upgrade, is that right? For our arsenal? Silver knives create to stand up the demon, short swords to be thrown at enemies. I mean, we may as well check out the darts right here, right? Although we'll probably get into better fighting here. So it's got more. So it's got an AoE associated to it, whereas our throwing daggers were like specifically more or less single target. I see a use for both. I feel like the throwing darts might just be better because I think they're just generally faster to throw. And speed is usually something you're looking for because staggering enemies is not necessarily the most difficult thing. So even getting a few throwing daggers out there, quicker, I feel like is generally better. I could be wrong on that. I might be wrong, and maybe people are gonna be like, these are one of the best weapons of the game, but I don't know, I'm not sold on them. Not that we used them for very long, but I'm not sold on them. Probably should have stayed down there a little longer, but with the camera angles being so weird, I'm not sure if there was actually anything more or less worthwhile down there. We did find the darts, in which case maybe we would find a sword upgrade. That still seems... I doubt it, though, considering we had just got a weapon upgrade here. I do like the aerial attack Lucia has. He's just throwing the throwing daggers up from on top of them. And these camera angles are so cursed, man. Like, you always have to constantly readjust for them, which is really annoying. But it's alright. We'll deal with it as need be. There we go. This is free money right here. You know we getting in on this. It's like the things I would actually want to be able to auto-lock onto. This game is like, absolutely not. Why would you want to auto-lock onto that? Now, we did get a weapon out of destroying this earlier. Not this time. That's not too surprising. We've seen multiple throughout the areas so far. So maybe we just got really lucky that that one happened to have a weapon in it. Maybe they're always set to have a weapon in it. Yeah, we got that to work. Alright, so we got a Devil Trigger aerial heart up there. In order to attack that enough, that might end up finishing the mission for this area. Not entirely sure. I'm gonna assume our trigger is full and go ahead and go up. Now there's orbs within this area, but considering all the enemies we just killed, I don't really feel it too necessarily go out of our way to grab that. Now we could potentially miss something here, like if it auto kicks us to the next level after completing that orb, but I'm not entirely convinced that's going to end up being the case here. Alright, so that's going to act as a new platform for us to get up onto. Interesting that it would spawn the bird enemies there just to not really do anything. How much money we got? 2,500. Probably just keep saving for the time being. One of the biggest grabs that we actually even ended up getting on the Dante playthrough was just spamming Devil Trigger upgrades, because Devil Trigger is just so strong in this game. Absolutely vital. So the more Devil Trigger you have, the more often you can spam it, you know, the better your life ends up being. We might actually be getting our first boss so far. Now, we actually fought this guy as Dante, but we fought this dude, like, way later. Although, I believe the one we fought as Dante was called, like, Plutonian or something along those lines. Yeah. Alright, after getting hit by that first one, I realized that I actually needed to roll a bit sooner than what I had originally intended. Now, one thing I do remember from fighting this guy with Dante is fighting this guy up close is not what you want to do, because he has a lot of knockback associated with his attacks, as we've seen so far. And getting right up in his face makes it extremely easy for him to knock you around. And this guy does some pretty good damage. So ideally, if we can keep it at range and bully him with our daggers here, we should be alright. Alright then. Nothing far too crazy here. Now, could we be doing more damage with our melee? Maybe. Would our life be much worse? We'll see. Yeah, that's kind of the issue with fighting him up close there, is the fact that he can do that, just like punch you in the face. And, yeah, we don't really have a lot of HP to be having that. Now, it looks like our Devil Trigger is doing enough damage to generally keep him from attacking us here, which is really nice. Our regular attacks, though, yeah, that's about what I expected. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to expect out of that. I think it's just supposed to stop projectiles. But, you know, if we can zoom in on him, then easy enough. I still took a lot more damage than I wanted to, but, it's kind of hard. It's like we haven't played in a minute, so being getting the timing down is a little more. Is that our new weapon, maybe? That could be our new base weapon, which seems like extremely early for us to get one. But then again, we already got the daggers this level, so maybe it's not unrealistic to get a new main weapon. Arcana Spada. One of the holy relics that were once used to seal a great demon. Great! That's some free HP right there. Blue Orb Fragment. And that was our fourth one, in which case we get some extra max HP out of that. You love to see it. Now the question is, where does it want us to go? It looks like we want to jump down from this more or less bell tower looking thing. Okay. So it switches the camera right here, but I believe the item, there we go. It's kind of hard telling from the fixed camera angles. It's not as easy as you would hope it would be, at least. Alright, another mission down, just that easy. S-rank, let's go. Stylish average. I don't know really what they're expecting out of the stylish average. I mean, maybe more melee attacks, but even then, like, I don't know, it feels like it was a lot more generous than with Dante's than it was with Lucia so far. Maybe they just think her weapon's that much better, maybe? In which case they're like, oh, you should be getting even more melee attacks in on enemies, and I'm just not entirely sold on it. I want to say there was like 14 missions to Lucia, in which case maybe we'll end up doing it because I think it'll be relatively quick so long as we don't get really stuck in anything. Which, if that ends up being the case, we may as well just finish it outright for the sake of saying that we beat all of Devil May Cry 2. But I don't know. We'll see. Alright, we've seen that play out before because if you played the Dante section, you see that we end up saving Lucia there from getting hit by the explosion.
Good grief. They really made a big mess, didn't they?
I'm pretty sure we've already seen this talk as well, which kind of makes me want to skip through it, but maybe we'll let it play through just for the sake of letting it play through.
You have arrived, son of Sparta.
It's probably too low, huh? The lady tends to speak quite softly, so
You knew him?
maybe I'll bring it up even more.
Oh, yes. We are the guardians of
There we go, that should be better.
Vidumali. Our clan once fought against
maybe
the
even a little
demons
more.
with Sparta, son of Sparta. We must ask this favor of you. You see, there's a man who's transformed our land into a demon's paradise. His name is Arius. And although he is the president of an international public corporation, he uses the demon power.
Ah, yes, the corporation
Please
strike.
deal with
Yet again,
Arius
we
and
could've seen
his
that
master for us.
Sometimes you have to
Looks like
charge
it's
your
your lucky
controller,
day.
you know?
Wonderful! I am very pleased. It leads to a harbor. If you are successful, I will tell you a story about your father.
Does
son
she
of
have
Sparta.
the Staff of Hermes? But isn't that just straight up the Staff of
Did
Hermes
you
from the
obtain
first
the
game?
other Arcanus, my
Because I don't think it's necessarily the triage.
Here is the bastone. Now we have only one piece remaining. I believe that it is in the ruin.
I know.
Now, we do break off from the Dante missions at some point. But we'll see when exactly that becomes a thing. She has many arms but only one heart as she waits for the protector deep in the water. Oh, please no. Not water levels. Like, it already was gross as Dante, so, like, I can only imagine it gets worse as Lucia, but, we'll see. I'm tempted to grab a purple orb just for the extra devil trigger time. But we'll save it for the time being. I should upgrade my weapons at some point. I'm really liking the throwing daggers. They have good speed. It seems like they have a decent amount of knockback to them. Damage is pretty whatever, but it's also level 1, so that's to be expected. And we actually picked up a full HP container on that first level there, which is pretty good. It's giving us money orbs behind us, so presumably that's where it wants us to go. But why not check out a few areas before we immediately run over to it, huh? Figured something spawned, considering it had just shown my HP bar there. Come on, you. Go. I feel like Lucia's like attack combos are just faster than Dante's. She doesn't have the range that Dante does, but like her attack chain is definitely faster. That's probably intentional, I'm sure, to be as like a trade-off of playstyles between the two. Alright, we got B average out of that, which I'm pretty sure is just about the best we could have done there. Not really sure how we would have gotten an S or an A rank there. That's kind of one of the things I don't get about the stylish thing in this game is, because, like, they expect you more or less what feels like to infinitely juggle enemies, but then either the enemies don't really have, like, the HP to make it happen, or the timer between keeping your chain alive is not very much so there. Alright, this is the same as the Dante level originally that I'd done. I expect some of this to be similar. I'm really hoping her entire section isn't the same as Dante's, because, you know, if that ends up being the case, why even make another section if it's just going to be the same as the other one? But that might just be in later chapters, we'll have to see. Ow. Will you stop this? Stop all of this nonsense. You know what? Let's just get rid of you real quick. So it's a fast, huh? Go on. You got your minions or whatever, but I'm not concerned. I don't know why I run over to these if I'm not going to buy anything, because it doesn't necessarily act as a save. I do think it might kill off the enemies within the area, though, so that way we don't have to keep fighting, like, infinite spawns of enemies. Which is nice in its own way. For whatever reason, I was thinking that was the boss, but maybe it's the boss, but in Dante's section. I'll be taking that. Is that that's a straight up full blue orb? Okay, wow, that's very generous of them. We just got a second full max HP upgrade on the, what, second mission, third mission now? Although we have less missions than Dante, so I guess it makes sense that we would get upgrades faster and whatnot. Because I think Dante had, what, like 22 or 23 missions, maybe? Somewhere around there, whereas Lucia, I think, has 14 or so? In which case, you know, if you've got a third less of a time to get upgrades and whatnot, it would make sense that they would give you more as a result, in order for you to not necessarily catch up, but to stay in line to where Dante would be in his section of the game. I'll be taking this. Well, tempted to take it anyways. Alright, so ideally we just want to get rid of these guys and then break our way through there. I think if I remember correctly from the Dante section, there's that little hole in the wall over there that we might be able to make something happen through. The idea of pulling the double trigger here is just to clear out the enemies quick enough so that way we can go ahead and check that out. Are you guys really not dead? I was like so certain they were dead because they were just chilling there. Okay, yeah, no, it's not gonna let me. I'm not sure if Devil Trigger actually ends up making it so we can kill these faster, but we'll probably go ahead and try it here. Her attacks are so fast. There we go. Enough to break through there. We could farm those guys, but at any door we should realistically have enough money for. Of course, that'll count against what potential upgrades we can get later, but that also means we won't have to farm doors immediately. Now, there is max HP up here. Whether or not it's a fragment versus an actual full-on blue orb, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, maybe I can't actually get it from that position. Or I could just be missing the jump. One or two things could be very well true there. I'd like to think that our jumps were right, though. We haven't really had a huge issue in that. And there's no triple jump as far as I'm aware, in which case this is the best that we're getting out of it. Maybe I'm jumping too early or something? Maybe it might be expecting me to use aerial heart here in order to get it. That's probably what it is. Really? Okay, so not even aerial heart was able to get that? I'm not... I must be missing something there. Otherwise, I have no idea how I'm supposed to get that. Between a full aerial heart and a double jump, we're not able to make that. Like, something about that doesn't seem quite right. Maybe there's an invisible wall or something. Now, this was closed before, so maybe the game's all... Maybe this is an assumption that Dante's already ahead of us, in which case some of the areas might already be more or less cleared for us. Which could make getting through some areas much less annoying. We'll see how much of that actually turns out to be true or not. I thought there was a reward up here last time, but maybe that's just for Dante. I think we actually did need to go that way. No, we came back this way and then we went the other way. That sounds right, but I'm also... Oh, this is the boss fight. Oh, okay. Well, rip to the rest of that area, I guess. And I used all my devil trigger. Even better. Well, this is not how you want to start off the boss fight, I'll tell you that much. I don't think I can leave this area once I entered it as well. Which is very unfortunate. So we want to dodge the toxic gas, and we also don't want to get hit by tentacles. You know, just valid things that you always say. Alright. This tentacle's really not dead yet. There we go. Alright, you just messed up. Get in there. Pull it. Look at all that damage. How about a little more damage? Dig. Alright, well, you knew they were gonna let me just one-shot this man with a single devil trigger. That would have been too easy. I don't think that knockback actually does damage to me. So I think we're okay when that ends up happening. Alright, dodge the poison here for a second. Get in there. No! It's making me target a tentacle instead. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. If only I could pick my actual targets there, I'm pretty sure I don't know if we would have necessarily killed the boss, but we definitely would have been doing more damage than what we did there. Thankfully, we did get a heal there. I think his poison breath is more so for show. I don't think it actually does much. Like, now I can see us being poisoned. But, like, when he was actually just, like, breathing at us when we were fighting the tentacle here, I'm not entirely convinced that it can actually do damage to us. I think it's more for show. Oh my gosh, dude. Really? Just kill him, man. Like, yeah. Turns out when you can actually, you know, focus target the boss's weak point, he dies a lot faster. Which might actually be why the game actively tries not to let you do it. Now, when we were here originally, that left door stayed closed, but the right door opened, and the right door, when opened, led to a motorcycle that Dante actually took here, but this time it opened on the left side. So we'll see what Lucia's path ends up going towards here. We did miss out on the running heart thing or whatever it is, the running demon heart. Assuming that Lucia also has access to it, which I imagine, if not every power Dante has, that she would have access to as well. So we did miss out on that, which is unfortunate. I had a 50-50 chance of remembering which one it was, and it turns out I lost that one. Feels bad, man. Was this Genshin? Sag? Alright, mission 4. Dodge flame tubes and navigate through the cracked city streets so that when the time comes, your path will be shown. Okay, we have 12k. I'm definitely grabbing purple orbs at some point. It's just a matter of when I grab them. And you know what? I'm gonna say the earlier the better. Okay, immediately doubled in price. Yikes. Alright, that was quick. So maybe they don't expect you to be using her devil trigger as much as they did with Dante's. I don't know how much I really necessarily enjoy the Lucia section so far. Like, a lot of it so far is the same. But we're 4 missions in. Like, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. Infest, can't see where they. Oh no, are they? No, okay. These are like the. These are like the mosquito things from Resident Evil? Kind of. Or at least they give that same look. Easy enough. Now, when we were playing as Dante, there was a secret room within this area, I want to say. Not that I remember where it is, though, unfortunately, is the thing. Otherwise, I would just run over to it and do it. Alright, well, we're finding something. Not sure what. Oh, monkey boy. Hey, how's it going? Absolutely not, monkey man. You have such an HP bar. Wow, okay. This man kind of thick. I can't pause it. Okay. Hopefully that didn't just blow your eardrums out there with all the sound that was going off. If it did, I apologize. I'll try and fix it later when I go back through and edit the video. Hopefully that does end up being the case. But it also wouldn't surprise me if it was. So if it was, sorry about that. I think it should be okay now. You guys will have to let me know. Alright, yeah, so apparently that was a boss. I don't really believe that was a boss, but hey, you know, would absolutely annihilate it to get me out of my devil trigger so that way it stops getting wasted. Maybe our devil trigger would immediately buy was a good decision considering we instantly fought a boss right afterwards, but, you know, who can really say, right? I guess I should be jumping in case they're hiding extra HP items and whatnot from me. What if we run down to the area where Dante had started from? You think they would hide something back here? They're hiding at least enemies back here, which makes me think they could be hiding something back here. Because generally you want to put enemies around something you'd want to hide, right? Isn't that just general game logic? Interesting. So the those ones despawn, but these ones respawn. I don't know if that's necessarily a limitation of the game, or maybe we just got too far out of the active range of the enemies within that other area. In which case, maybe that's why they ended up despawning. Not entirely sure. There's some sort of like blue flame over there, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, it is a power. Okay, so it is a good thing we did go down this way. I think this was also a thing for Dante in this area. I don't entirely remember. I'm getting vague pieces every which way. Because we didn't play it too long ago, but it has been a minute since it happened. Now, there actually should be a set amount of air enemies within this area, because if that's going to be the requirement for the upgrade, is just the defeat X amount, then there shouldn't be infinite spawns here, unless I'm missing something. And nope, it looks like we killed off everything we need to kill off. Maybe this will be the running upgrade, in which case saved, but I kind of doubt it. Again, you really don't have to take those to the chest. You know, you could try and, oh, I don't know, like catch it, dodge it, you know, kind of thing like Dante did. No, all right. Offense heart, a magic stone with the heart of a vigorous battle god. Why do I feel like we got offense heart much later in Dante's? Am I crazy for thinking that? Adds an ice element here, devil trigger. I was wondering what that was in the middle. So she gets ice, where Dante got electricity. Enhances your attack power while in devil trigger. That's beautiful. I mean, that's probably like one of the best things we could ask for right there. Okay, I did not know that existed right there, but I will absolutely take it. That is some free HP right there. Well, not yet, but it will be eventually free HP. We got everything we want out of this area, I think, outside of maybe secret room access, but I don't know if we get that now or maybe in a different section later. I don't really want to upgrade any of our weapons just yet. I feel like last time we went really heavy into our weapons early, and then we never got it. We never ended up using any of the weapons later. So I think this time through, I'm gonna wait and upgrade some of the later weapons to see if the first weapons you start out with are actually better than the later weapons. or if the later weapons are just that much better, and then if you, actually invest in them, they get even better, if that makes sense. So, just a different way of playing it through, just spice it up a little bit. I'm kind of surprised I didn't see the heart fragment before, but it's more likely because of just all the fixed camera angles they got going on in this game. We'll probably end up playing out this mission, in which case, rejoice for everybody that likes the videos longer than the hour version. Although with some of the editing I have to do, it may not be exactly 1 hour, but I do try and get it around that area. You guys will have to let me know if you like the hour-long things. I could do 30 minutes, I could do 15 minutes, any sort of, time selection, really. We're fighting infested tanks already, huh? Okay. Well, I remember these things were, extremely tanky. Huh. Pun intended, I suppose. Do you have friends with you, or is it just you? Because if it's just you, I think your real big weakness... Nah, okay, you have friends with you? Of course you do. Alright, go ahead and get rid of these guys then, so I can focus down this tank here. I think the big weakness of the tank, what we originally found, was getting straight up on it and just bullying it. Getting on top of it might actually be a thing that makes more sense. But for right now, we can get an easy S-rank on it if it doesn't kick us off of it. But so far, it's not looking like it's going to. Maybe we found the sweet spot immediately. Maybe it just doesn't know what to do with itself. Either way, I'll take it. I'm gonna imagine that its flamethrower it did right there was actually supposed to be like a ground denial sort of thing, but maybe we're too close to the tank for it to actually work. We did build up our devil trigger. This is with offense heart too. We're supposed to be doing extra damage to this thing, and its HP bar is not going down as much as I would like it to. The volume's going to be all over the place on this one because I had to bring it up for them talking, and then I had to readjust it, and I had to keep readjusting it. We can fix it up in editing for a little bit, but it's going to be a little bit annoying having to look through the video and be like, oh, that part's too loud. Nope, that part's too quiet. Just one of the many pains of doing editing, but we do it for you guys, I say we as if it's not all just me, but... in terms of editing and whatnot. Editing, shooting, everything. It's just... Alright, well, that was about as easy as it could have gotten. Alright. Oh, no, please not the infested copper again. I remember that being a pain. There's no way that isn't put there intentionally for it to be named Ouroboros when we have stuff like Resident Evil 5 with the Ouroboros virus. There's no way that it's a coincidence. I refuse to believe that it isn't. Alright, I don't know how long the next mission will be, so we'll probably call it there for this first episode, just so that way we have an even point to stop on it. So appreciate everybody for watching the video. If you guys haven't liked, comment, and subscribe, go ahead and do it already. Other than that, I'm thinking we'll go ahead and just play out Lucia's one, considering it's going as quick as it is. I think we're like a third of the way through her stuff already. Because she doesn't have all those extra missions that Dante has. So unless we really get stuck on anything, I think we should be able to get through these relatively quickly. And then we can move on to Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5, if people are feeling those. Maybe we'll try out some different games. Who knows? But, yeah, we'll see you in the next video. See ya!